Squad, Hell Let Loose, Postscriptum, Beyond the Wire. What do all of these titles have in common? Well, of course, besides the fact that they are all proper Milsims, well, to a degree, you could say compared to the mainstream first-person shooters like Call of Duty or Battlefield, these titles are much more hardcore, more realistic, focusing on a visceral, immersive experience as opposed to an arcadey one. Starting with Squad and before that Project Reality, these games changed my gaming life, for lack of a better word. There's really nothing quite like the Milsim genre, the way it really brings together players at a respectable level. People actually use teamwork, work together, real team cohesion, and actually use their microphones the way the game's intended them to, rather than for just debauchery. I still think that these games are the future of gaming, and their time to really shine is still to come. However, with that said, the thing that all of these titles have in common that I want to talk about today is the fact that them or their dev teams all have, or at least have begun, to sell out.
Steven, I didn't sell out, son. I bought in. Keep that in mind.
Alright, what's up and welcome back to the Mil-Simp tax shooter and historic gaming channel, home of the weekly Steam Key giveaway. If you are new around here, we have directions on how to enter later in the video. But boy, oh boy, do we have a lot to talk about today within a short amount of time. It just dawned on me that I did that video about the kids' Reddit post pertaining to basically the Beyond the Wire team being put on another job and them of course telling the community nothing. If you missed it, check it out. It was definitely a good one. But basically, just to sum things up, this Redditor or big fan of Beyond the Wire was snooping around Discord or Reddit or wherever and stumbled across basically one of the devs admitting that pretty much the entire Beyond the Wire team was taken off the Beyond the Wire development and put on Star Troopers Extermination development. Now, right off the jump, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Where I find negligence and, in my opinion, a huge problem is that they tell us, the community, the people that have backed this project, nothing. Zilch. Nada. I feel like if anyone deserves to know, it's us. And it just dawned on me recently that pretty much every game I play and love in this Milsim genre has had or is having some kind of shady dealings within the past, like, less than a year now. All of this has been happening so quickly. From Squad selling a big stake ownership over to the soulless Tencent to Postscriptum, the devs at Periscope Games basically all getting fired by the one lead developer and then him saying nothing, letting us know nothing at all. And now we have Black Matter, the developers behind Hell Let Loose, probably the most transparent dev team I've ever seen. And now they are no more. The game's been handed over to new developers. And like I said, all of this has happened within the past year or so. And I find it crazy that nobody's talking about it, what this implies, what this could mean for the future, and why I wish they just held on just a little bit longer. Any of the long-time channel members and people who have been following my channel for a while now has heard me say it a million times, but I really do believe we are on the cusp of this genre exploding. And that's simply because we have millions of these kids now who grew up on video games, and they're all sooner or later going to get to their 30s, upper 20s, and they're going to look for a more visceral, immersive experience. I mean, let's face it, when I was a kid, you got joked on. You were a nerd if you played video games. This day and age, you're a nerd if you have a negative kill-death ratio and fart knife. It's a different world out there. Saying all that to say, I wish we just could have kept this Milsim grassroots, kept it to these indie dev teams, no support from this soulless machine, these corporations. I mean, they're the last thing I wanted to get involved in my beloved little niche of a genre. However, what do I know? Maybe it has been too late. After all, developing a game is not cheap, especially when you have games like this with one ticket to entry. You buy the game and that's it. There are no DLCs, no cosmetics, no way for the developers to make that residual income that is so darn important to keep a studio alive. So I'm sure, after all of my whining and complaining, I'm willing to bet there's some legal mumbo jumbo, some freaking fine print you need to be a lawyer to understand.
That kid is gonna make one hell of a lawyer, huh?
Yeah, he takes after his father. He's a son of a bitch.
Fuck you, dear.
However, there is just no excuse for the complete and utter silence. We gamers that support these projects deserve more. And if you ask me, once these unfailable corporations who answer to shareholders, not gamers, once these guys get involved, there is literally only one thing that then becomes important, and that is revenue. Money, money, money. Now, another thing all of you have heard me say before, and I'm going to say right now again, and clearly when I say this, I say it quite literally. Small indie teams and modders, little fat kids in their grandma's basement, are responsible for just about all of innovation in gaming. All of it.
That's just like, okay, that's just not true at all.
And I'm not exaggerating in the least bit. We can go back to the beginning of FPS when the arena shooters were dominant 20, 30 years later to nowadays where just about every little genre that is at the top of the charts came from either a modder or an extremely small studio. You look at games like Minecraft, one of the biggest genres in the past 10 years, MOBAs. Where did Dota 2, League of Legends, Heroes of the Storm, Smite, they all came from a Warcraft 3 modification. Another chart-topping genre, the Battle Royale. I mean, there are literally countless Battle Royale games out. How did that start? A modification of Arma. We gamers are responsible for pretty much all of innovation in gaming. If it's hot and new, either an extremely small dev team or a modder created it. And I'm not exaggerating in the least bit. Oh, of course, once the innovation is made, these corporations like leeches smell blood in the water will take said innovation and literally beat it until it's a dead horse. Saying all that to say, it is a little painful to see almost all of my favorite games of recent times slowly but surely turning to the dark side. However, I still think the future is very, very bright for this Milsim, tac shooter, more realistic FPS genre. It just kind of stinks because I thought these games, Squad, Hell Let Loose, Postscriptum, would really usher in the glory days. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it will be their sequels. Or better yet, maybe it will be some grassroots, small indie teams that rise up from the mire and muck of all this to take the genre back and really bring the development process back home where it ought to be, in the hands of us gamers. Because we can speak until we're blue in the face about this, but if anything's become evident in the past decade, it's that these shareholders that run these corporations haven't the slightest clue what us gamers really want and need in our games. But that's it, folks. It's kind of hard to admit, but I guess this really is the end of an era. Beyond the Wire, pretty much ceasing development, complete radio silence. Postscriptum, almost the same thing, complete radio silence. Squad, a big part of their market share, sold to the soulless Tencent. And Hell Let Loose, literally the most transparent devs I've ever seen in gaming with Black Matter, no longer developing Hell Let Loose. It is definitely strange times for us Milsimps, but I refuse to lose the faith. One thing we have that no other genre has is an extremely strong community. And I know we'll get through this. As far as Postscriptum and Beyond the Wire goes, just know the communities are hard at work aiming to preserve these great titles. We're to get some game days going for Beyond the Wire. And if you've never seen a fully popped Beyond the Wire server, 50 vs 50, woo, are you missing out? So it would be cool to do that at least once a week. Also with Postscriptum, everyone needs to experience the realism mod. So we're going to be aiming to do a public One Life event. Stay tuned for more on that. But I guess we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up, as I could probably talk on this topic for entirely too much time. But most importantly, I want to know down in the comments your thoughts. Did this just dawn on you? Did you not think of this? Did you not realize all of our beloved Milsims are no longer, in quotations, ours? What does the future of this genre look like to you? Are you going to at least try to keep the faith like I am? We still have a lot of cool games that are still to come, like Burning Lands. We got Operation Harsh Doorstop that I think could be very special in just a year, 2 years time. Hey, EA didn't shut down Project Reality, so we got that going for us. Anyways, like I said, there's no community like the Milsim community, and that alone makes us unstoppable. I'm Boogie5. I hope you enjoyed my TED Talk. Help me get this genre out to the masses. Join my channel members, the Mil-Simp minions, and for a little incentive, all 3 tiers get double the entry. entry in every week's Steam Key giveaway. And speaking of a winner, this week's Steam Key giveaway winner, Mr. Tall or Made. Come on down. DM me on Discord, ask for a list of games available, make your selection. Again, congratulations. Guys, don't forget to subscribe, ring that bell, turn notifications on so you do not miss a video. There's no better time to be a viewer of the channel, as we have tons of awesome Steam Keys to give away. Games like Beach Invasion 1944, No Plan B, Project Gunship, Military Conflict Vietnam, just to name a few. And we got new ones coming all the time. Make sure you're a member of our Discord, it's linked below. And I'll see you boys in the next one. Y'all be good to each other.